The scene opens outside class 3-2, where students' voices buzz with nervous energy. The topic of conversation is the awakening assessment scheduled for tomorrow, and everyone is wondering what kind of power they will unlock. Inside the dimly lit classroom, a student named Li Hong tries to wake up his friend, Mo, who is fast asleep with his feet propped up on the desk. "Bro Mo, wake up quickly, don't sleep," he urges. A wider view reveals a lively classroom filled with students. Despite the ordinary morning scene, an air of anxious excitement hangs in the air as the time for the assessment draws near. We get a close-up of the sleeping student, Mo, as he slowly awakens, his expression hazy and confused. Suddenly, Mo jolts awake, his eyes wide with shock. He frantically looks around the classroom, a place that should be familiar but isn't, and wonders aloud, "Where is this?" A sharp pain hits him, and he clutches his head, groaning as a flood of confusing information rushes into his mind. The scene transitions to a sprawling, modern cityscape. This world is known as Blue Star, and at first glance, it appears almost identical to Earth. But that piece is a facade. A flashback reveals a cataclysm that occurred a century ago, a terrifying event that completely reshaped the planet. Millions of monsters swarmed the planet, causing untold destruction and countless human casualties in a desperate, losing war. In humanity's darkest hour, a miracle occurred. People began to awaken special abilities, allowing them to change professions and gain the power to fight back against the monstrous horde. These awakened individuals, armed with incredible power, became the new frontline in the war for survival. As a result, the entire world now focuses on cultivating these awakened individuals, who have become the new elite, enjoying wealth and status. Back in Mo's consciousness, a shocking realization clicks into place. This world's history, the monsters, the awakenings, it's all identical to a game he once played, Genesis. He stares at his hands, trembling. He hasn't just been dreaming, he has actually transmigrated into a world where the game he played has become reality. He remembers his past life, not as a student, but as a legendary player in Genesis. He had defeated everyone and was just a single step away from being crowned the top player ever. His character, the ultimate war god, was level 999, a formidable figure who stood at the peak of the game's power structure. He remembers the final battle, facing the last boss and its seemingly endless army all by himself. The scene flashes to his previous life, showing him as a young man, drenched in sweat, his face illuminated by the glow of his computer screen during that final, intense battle. Despite his power, the sheer number of enemies was overwhelming, and his character was being swarmed from all sides. In the real world, he slams his fist on his desk in frustration. Darn it! The screen glows with two words, "Game over." He was just one step away from reaching the summit, from becoming a god within the game, and he had failed. Snapping back to the present, Mo finds himself being violently shaken by his friend, pulling him out of his trip down memory lane. Mo's eyes finally focus, and he recognizes his friend. "Li Hong," he exclaims in surprise. Li Hong, looking exasperated, retorts, "Yo, do you have time to daydream?" Still processing his transmigration, Mo excitedly grabs his friend. "I can't believe you crossed over too," he says. Li Hong just stares back, completely baffled, retorting, "What are you talking about? At a time like this, you're still in the mood for games?" Li Hong finally breaks, pushing Mo's hands away and grabbing his own hair in despair. He cries out, "Even the smart kids are in hot water. If they're this anxious, what am I supposed to do?" His panic is a stark contrast to Mo's strange otherworldly calm. As Li Hong panics, Mo calmly observes him, noting that his friend's appearance and personality are almost identical to the ones he knew in his previous life. It seems some interpersonal relationships have carried over between the two worlds. Li Hong, with tears in his eyes, clings to Mo and wails, "If I can't pass tomorrow's school assessment, my dad will kill me." Mo's mind races. He recalls a key piece of information from the game. Back in Genesis, the only way to trigger a talent awakening was to successfully touch the awakening stone located in the novice realm. Li Hong gets right in Mo's face, pleading desperately. "Bro, I'm facing a life-or-death crisis tomorrow. Can't you lend a helping hand?" Mo, unfazed, replies, "Well, you need to make it clear how I can help." With a hopeful smile, Li Hong explains that his demands aren't high, he just needs to awaken any talent to satisfy his dad. He reminds Mo that he's one of the smartest students, hoping he can come up with a last-minute plan. Mo considers the situation. He knows that games are games, and reality is reality. Even if his skills from his past life are intact, he's unsure how closely this world follows the rules of Genesis. He decides he must find out for himself. Seeing Mo lost in thought, Li Hong leans over his desk and asks nervously, "Sue, have you figured out a solution?" Mo stands up confidently and reassures his friend. "Worry not. I'll go to the secret realm first and think about a solution." Ecstatic, Li Hong pumps his fist and cheers Mo on as he leaves the classroom. "May Lady Luck be on your side, my bro. If you succeed, I'll treat you to meals for a year." The scene shifts to a massive, modern building called the Training Audi. Inside, dozens of people are gathered, all heading towards a glowing portal in the center of the hall. As Mo walks through the crowd, he overhears other awakened individuals discussing their strategies for tackling the realm, debating whether to handle the weaker monsters first or save their energy for the stronger elites. Mo stands before the shimmering blue light of the portal, his face set with determination. This is the entrance to the secret realm. A confident smile plays on Mo's lips. He's eager to finally see for himself what this new world, a fusion of game and reality, truly looks like. Without hesitation, he walks forward, stepping directly into the radiant light of the portal. He is enveloped in a blinding white light, his form becoming a silhouette as he transitions from his world into the realm beyond. After a moment of disorientation, Mo lowers his hand from his face, his eyes adjusting to the new environment with a surprised, "Huh?" He stares in stunned silence. Before him lies a peaceful, rustic town with a wooden bridge over a gentle stream. He recognizes it immediately. Isn't this the Genesis Games newbie village? Suddenly, a series of blue holographic panels appear before him. A system voice announces, "System detected the host. Binding transformation system in progress." A synchronization bar quickly loads from 50 to 100%. Mo's eyes widen in shock. What? Transformation system, he thinks, just as the system announces that the binding was successful, activating the Level 1 transformation system. A notification box explains the system's core function. It can convert two active skills that meet its conditions into a brand new passive skill, whose power is directly influenced by the user's attributes. The implication dawns on Mo, and a look of pure excitement spreads across his face. A system that can turn active skills into passive ones? If this world truly is identical to Genesis, then this ability is absurdly powerful. He thinks back to the game mechanics of Genesis. 99% of skills were active, meaning they all had cooldowns and limitations. It was impossible to use them indefinitely, which often left players vulnerable to counterattacks. But passive skills were different. They were always active and triggered automatically under specific conditions, completely bypassing cooldowns. This allowed for incredible burst damage and combos. He knew that as a character's level increases, the trigger probability for passive skills also rises, which is precisely why they were so rare and coveted in the game. Mo clenches his fist, his heart pounding with adrenaline. In his past life, the inescapable restriction of skill cooldowns was the one thing that prevented him from becoming a god. But this time, he thinks with burning determination, with the transformation system, I can finally make up for my regrets. A system window appears before Mo, prompting him, "Please select the skill you want to transform." A list of his available active skills is displayed, including uppercut, wave slash, slide tackle, and weapon switch. Without hesitation, Mo's finger touches the screen, selecting the second skill on the list. Let's try this one first, he decides, choosing Wave Slash. The system confirms his choice. Acquired skill, Wave Slash. A blade of pure green energy materializes in his hand. The skill's description appears, explaining it as a powerful upward slash that releases a multi-hit wave of damage. Immediately after, another notification flashes in front of him, declaring in bold red letters, "Passive transformation successful." Mo stares in awe as the new skill's properties are revealed. The formerly active Wave Slash is now a passive skill. It has a 30% chance to trigger on attack, transforming into a sword energy strike with a 1.5x damage bonus. And most importantly, it grants the user 0.2 seconds of invincibility. Mo is amazed. The skill didn't just get an upgrade, its entire attack method was improved, and it came with added damage values, a nice little bonus. Just then, the ground trembles as a massive, chained foot stomps down nearby. A hulking monster appears before him. It's a minotaur, a towering, muscular beast with glowing red eyes, heavy armor, and a monstrously large axe. Mo recognizes his opponent immediately. It's a level 3 minotaur, one of the more challenging monsters found in the training ground. A smirk plays on his lips. With a furious roar, the minotaur charges forward, bringing its massive axe down in a devastating overhead chop. Mo remains calm, seeing the attack as the perfect opportunity for some real combat practice. With a swift movement, he dodges to the side. The minotaur's axe whistles through the air where Mo was standing just a second ago. The axe blade smashes into the ground, narrowly missing Mo as he dodges out of the way. The impact creates a powerful explosion, sending dirt and debris flying everywhere. Mo, panting slightly, looks back at the crater left by the single axe swing, a testament to the minotaur's raw power. The minotaur emerges from the dust cloud, its eyes glowing with rage. Mo is shocked to see that his initial attack didn't even leave a scratch on the beast. The minotaur unleashes a furious barrage of attacks, swinging its axe wildly and relentlessly. Mo is forced onto the back foot, desperately dodging and weaving to avoid the monster's powerful strikes. He quickly realizes the direness of his situation. He may have the knowledge of a top player, but his current body is only level 1. He can't possibly overpower the minotaur with brute force. The minotaur's axe swings down faster than he can react. With no time to dodge, all Mo can do is curse. In a last-ditch effort, Mo raises his sword to block the attack, bracing for the impact. His eyes widen in surprise as the two weapons are about to collide. At the exact moment of impact, a system notification appears, Wave/passive triggered. User invincible for 0.2 seconds. The axe is stopped cold against his flimsy sword. Mo is stunned for a second, then realization dawns on him. His desperate block had triggered the passive effect of his new skill, saving him from certain death. As his eyes begin to glow with power, another system message appears, revealing a hidden mechanic, forcing the release of Wave/ has a 1.5x damage bonus. The invincibility from his passive skill surrounds Mo in a protective aura, allowing his simple blade to completely stop the minotaur's devastating attack cold. The monster can only look on, baffled by this impossible defense. Seizing the opening created by the minotaur's confusion, Mo begins his counterswing. Dark, crackling energy gathers around his blade as he channels the forced release of his empowered Wave/. His eyes glowing with purple energy, Mo unleashes the skill he just discovered, the empowered Wave/. The empowered slash connects with the minotaur, tearing through its body in a spray of dark blood as Mo completes the powerful upward swing. The force of the blow sends a massive shockwave across the landscape, blasting the minotaur off its feet. Mo stands over the fallen body of the minotaur, catching his breath as the formidable monster dissolves into particles of light. A confident smile spreads across his face as he reflects on his victory. By transforming the skill into a passive one, he not only solved the cooldown issue but also developed a completely new system for dealing damage. This breakthrough completely solves the problem that prevented him from reaching the summit in his previous life. Looking out at the sunset, Mo clenches his fist in determination. He is certain that in this new life, he can finally make up for the regrets of the past and ascend to godhood for real. Cheng Qianma's eyes glint with determination as he swiftly punches through a grotesque, insect-like monster in the novice realm. With incredible agility, he leaps and dodges the creature's thorny tentacles, striking them down with fluid, powerful movements. After clearing out a horde of monsters, the exhausted Cheng Qianma falls back amidst the defeated creatures, concluding his intense training session. Holding a blade, Cheng smirks, satisfied. He thinks to himself that with his combat experience from his past life, tomorrow's assessment will be easy. A system window then prompts him, "Host, please select the second transformed passive skill." He analyzes the skill options, concluding that since his first skill was for attack power, the second should be chosen to reduce cooldown time, a common issue for beginners. He selects his new skill. A system notification appears, "Acquire skill, Weapon Switch." Weapon Switch LV.1, after activation, within 30 seconds, the cooldown time for switching weapons is reduced by 30%. Immediately, the skill undergoes a passive transformation. The cooldown time for switching all weapons is now permanently reduced by 30%, a significant upgrade. Cheng looks at a holographic screen displaying his inventory. With a few novice weapons and the new Weapon Switch passive, he can now rapidly cycle through different weapons during combat. His status window displays his updated information: Cheng, level 1, with passive skills, Wave/LV.1 and the newly acquired, Weapon Switch LV.1. A confident smirk plays on his face as he clenches his fist. He thinks that resolving the Weapon Switch cooldown issue is like having a cheat code for early-stage battles. His preparations complete, Cheng Qianma turns and walks towards a glowing blue portal, ready to leave the training realm and face the next day's assessment. The scene shifts to a vast, futuristic stadium packed with students. It's the long-awaited assessment day. In the crowd, a student with slicked-back white hair boasts to his friend, showing off his virtual backpack that is impressively filled with 9 slots of healing potions. Suddenly, Cheng Qianma's friend, Li Hong, rushes over, excitedly waving a paper. He declares he's ready for the assessment because his dad used his influence to get him a map. Cheng Qianma quickly quiets him down, advising him to speak softly so others don't find out he used a backdoor. Li Hong nervously agrees, saying he'll keep it low-key. Li Hong shows him the map for the Flame Fisher realm. He mentions that it was chosen by Professor Liu and is known to be highly difficult. Cheng Qianma looks over the map. He recognizes the Flame Fisher as a novice map and recalls that most monsters there are only around levels 3 to 10, which he considers not too difficult. He asks Li Hong what the highest level elite monster he can solo is. Li Hong nervously calculates on his fingers and answers that, even if he goes all out, it's maybe a level 5. Cheng Qianma facepalms in disbelief at Li Hong's lack of strength, thinking it looks like they really can only rely on a backdoor for him. Li Hong just smiles sheepishly. Their conversation is overheard. A voice from behind sarcastically asks Li Hong if he's planning to use his family's money to take a shortcut. The one who spoke is Mao Feng, a rich second-generation student from the next class, flanked by his 2 cronies. He condescendingly tells Li Hong to give up so he doesn't embarrass his unlucky father. Completely enraged by the insult, Li Hong loses his temper and furiously shouts, "Fuck you. What the fuck did you just say?" As Li Hong lunges forward, Cheng Qianma holds him back, telling him to cool down. But Li Hong is beside himself with rage, screaming that he'll settle things today, even if it costs him his life. Mao Feng smirks, mockingly telling Li Hong that his classmate Cheng Qianma is more sensible. He claims Cheng Qianma knows Li Hong is just a sore loser and is stopping him from making a fool of himself, goading him further. Having heard enough, Cheng Qianma decides to act. A foot flashes out, and in the next moment, Mao Feng is sent stumbling back from a powerful kick, a look of pure shock on his face as he questions what just happened. Cheng Qianma calmly looks down at the fallen Mao Feng and sarcastically says, "No need to apologize so formally." Enraged and humiliated, Mao Feng glares up, screaming, "Cheng Qianma! Are you tired of living?" Mao Feng springs to his feet and throws a wild punch, but Cheng Qianma effortlessly catches his fist mid-air, stopping the attack completely. Still holding the bully's fist, Cheng Qianma looks at him with a calm, almost bored expression. Mao Feng is shocked, wondering to himself, how is this kid so strong? Cheng Qianma then remembers his main purpose. With a confident smirk, Cheng Qianma challenges him directly, "Hey, you there, dare to make a bet with me? Let's bet. Li Hong's assessment results later will definitely be better than yours." Li Hong looks on in utter shock. After a moment of stunned silence, Mao Feng and his cronies burst into uproarious laughter, finding the idea of the underachieving Li Hong beating him completely absurd. Mao Feng accepts what he sees as a bet of certain victory. With a malicious grin, he declares that he'll set the stakes. The loser must run 10 laps around the playground naked and shout the other person's dad's name 3 times. Without a moment's hesitation and with a cool smile, Cheng Qianma accepts the humiliating terms. "It's on," he says, while his friend Li Hong looks on in abject terror. The surrounding students begin to gossip, finding it unbelievable that Li Hong, who is lagging behind, would compete with a top student like Mao Feng. They think the difference in their abilities is too great and that it's a free win for Mao Feng. Panicking, Li Hong grabs Cheng Qianma and whispers frantically, "Oi, Mo, are you crazy? How could I possibly?" But Cheng Qianma calmly cuts him off, simply saying, "Believe in your brother." Li Hong completely loses his composure, shaking Cheng Qianma and crying out, "Believe in what, brother Mo? I just want to pass the assessment to brag to my dad and get some pocket money. Why are you making a deal out of me?" Cheng Qianma calmly pulls his panicking friend upright. "Get up," he commands, "just listen to me." Leaning in close, Cheng Qianma begins to whisper a plan into Li Hong's ear. Li Hong's eyes are wide with a mixture of shock and disbelief as he listens. Still looking worried, Li Hong asks, "Are you sure about all this?" Cheng Qianma gives him a knowing, confident look and replies with a simple, firm, "Yeah." Inspired by his friend's unshakable confidence, Li Hong's attitude does a complete 180. He pumps his fist in the air, now filled with determination, and boldly declares, "Today, I'll make Mao Feng run," while shouting, "Dad." A serious-looking man with a goatee clears his throat, drawing attention. A caption introduces him as Zhang Lei, the grade director of Jiangqing College and a powerful second-tier awakened, as he prepares to make an announcement. With authority, grade director Zhang Lei speaks into the microphone, his voice echoing through the hall. The assessment officially begins. The director instructs the students to enter the teleportation point one by one. Filled with newfound bravado, Li Hong tells Cheng Qianma to watch his performance and eagerly runs towards the glowing portal. One by one, the students step into the portal and vanish. The scene then transitions, showing a flash of light in a fiery, hellish landscape. The camera pans out to reveal the assessment location, the Flame Fissure, a treacherous realm of floating rock islands over a sea of scorching lava. Having been teleported in, Cheng Qianma immediately recognizes the terrain from his past life. "I remember this dungeon," he thinks. It's a massive volcano. After climbing the rugged mountains, the summit is the final boss of this dungeon, Zalan. Standing amidst the embers, Cheng Qianma feels a strange sense of nostalgia. He remarks to himself that it's been a long time since he's played a familiar dungeon, a slight smile on his face. Suddenly, a group of imposing, green-skinned brutes with glowing red eyes and sharp tusks appear. A system window identifies them as Flame Blade Devotee LV2, ugly, low-level monsters. Without warning, one of the Flame Blade devotees lunges forward, swinging a crude blade attached to its arm in a vicious downward slash. The attack is faster than he anticipated. Cheng Qianma just barely manages to sidestep and parry the monster's blade with his own novice sword. Sliding back to create some distance, Cheng Qianmo realizes he's now surrounded by a group of 5 monsters. He senses that something is different and more dangerous than his training. Completely surrounded, Cheng Qianma stands his ground as 5 menacing flame blade devotees close in on him. He draws his novice sword, reflecting that while games in the past were operated with a keyboard and mouse, this new reality relies on one's own instinctive body movements. As he dodges another attack, he realizes these monsters are far stronger than the weakened ones in the training grounds, and facing 5 at once is a genuine challenge. Just then, a system window appears, detected that the host has a massive amount of operational experience, now all converted into instinctive body movements. Cheng Qianma is stunned, wondering if even his gaming experience can be converted into a passive skill. The system announces the completion of the conversion. A blue aura envelopes him, showing his skeleton as his body fundamentally changes. He exclaims, "My body feels completely different." With his body now moving on pure instinct, Cheng Qianma calmly watches as 3 of the monsters leap towards him, ready for a coordinated attack. He stomps his foot, planting himself firmly as he prepares to unleash his newfound capabilities. With effortless grace, he twists his body, easily dodging the clumsy slashes of the monsters around him, his movements now fluid and precise. A close-up shows his eyes, now filled with the sharp focus and confidence of a seasoned fighter. In a flash, he pivots and lands a clean, fatal strike on one of the charging monsters. After felling 2 monsters, he marvels at his new ability, realizing his instinctive movements are now as perfect as his gaming operations from his previous life. With a wild, confident grin, Cheng Qianma taunts the remaining monsters, challenging them, "Not satisfied? Then come at me together." Enraged by the taunt, the remaining flame blade devotees all charge at him simultaneously. He executes a perfect handspring to dodge, thinking to himself that he needs to lure them into a straight line to take them all down in one go. He skillfully weaves through their attacks, parrying their blades and manipulating their movements until they are all lined up perfectly behind him. He slides to a halt, turning to face the row of charging monsters, the perfect opportunity laid out before him. With his enemies aligned, he activates a novice skill, slide tackle, rushing forward to trip them up. He immediately follows up with skill, wave slash. A passive ability triggers, and he's surprised he was able to connect the skills so quickly and smoothly. He seamlessly activates another passive skill, inverse slash, unleashing a devastating combo that cuts through the entire line of monsters in a blur of purple energy. He stands triumphantly as the monsters dissipate. System notifications flood in. Due to his special actions, his experience gain was increased by 50%, and he has leveled up twice, from LV.1 to LV.3. Clenching his fist in excitement, he realizes that special killing methods grant bonus experience. Killing just 5 monsters leveled him up twice. He then leaps confidently to the next platform. As he soars through the air, he smirks, thinking that with all his skills and weapons, this new reality is far more interesting than the virtual game Genesis from his past life. Back at the assessment hall, a commotion starts. On the main leaderboard, a name is seen shooting up the ranks at an incredible speed, and students point in shock. The board updates, showing Cheng Qianma in first place at LV.3, Mao Feng's friend points in disbelief, shouting that it's the guy who confronted them and that he leveled up twice in under 5 minutes. Grade director Zhang Lei also notices the sudden change. Recognizing the name, he smirks. Cheng Qianma, he thinks. Interesting. I wonder if you'll have any other surprises. Cheng Qianma expertly leaps between the rocky cliffs of the secret realm. As he lands, his attention is immediately caught by something in the distance. He lands with precision, swinging around a rock face to get a better view of his surroundings. His eyes land on a group of cloaked figures and their demonic-looking dogs. A system window pops up, identifying them as shadow mages, apprentice-level secret realm monsters. A sly grin spreads across Cheng Qianma's face. He remembers these monsters from the game Apocalypse and recalls a special bug related to them. He realizes he can use this to strike it big and level up quickly. He thinks to himself that while it's easier said than done, if he can pull this off, leveling up will be a breeze. Cheng Qianma pulls out his grappling hook gun, a piece of basic equipment for novices, and fires it towards a high ledge. After getting into position, he takes out another piece of basic equipment, steel plate darts. He flings the darts, successfully provoking the shadow mages. Alerted by the attack, the shadow mages' eyes glow red as they officially enter a combat state. Having successfully drawn their attention, Cheng Qianma looks down on them from his perch high above. The shadow mages begin to cast their magic, preparing to launch their shadow arrow skill. Hiding behind a large rock, Cheng Qianma observes their actions. He knows that as low-level monsters, they only have two types of magic, shadow arrows and summon hounds. Just as he predicted, their magic circles dissipate. Unable to lock onto a target, their shadow arrow skill fails, and they return to their default state. Cheng Qianma clenches his fist in triumph. The effect of breaking their field of view is perfect. He notes that completion-based magic like Shadow Arrow can't attack targets outside their visual range. First step, success. With a cunning smile, he readies his spiked knuckles for the second step, taking advantage of the time when they are casting their magic. As the mages begin summoning, Cheng Qianma leaps down and brutally kills one of the hounds, causing it to cry out in pain. He dusts off his hands with a satisfied smirk. Now, for the most interesting part of this bug. He explains the bug's logic. The priority of the hound's summoning skill is higher than that of the shadow arrow, meaning the mages can only summon their dogs. As another hound is summoned through a magic circle, Cheng Qianma's face lights up with a triumphant smile. He did it, he successfully broke their logic. Because they have no way to lock on to a target, and their programming logic is now messed up, the shadow mages will now be stuck continuously summoning hounds. Peeking from his hiding spot, Cheng Qianma realizes the bug will lead to an enormous number of hounds. By killing the shadow mages, all the hounds will die with them, giving him a huge amount of experience. With his plan in motion, Cheng Qianma confidently lies down on a rock. He decides to take a nap and just wait for the hounds to accumulate. 8 hours later, the scene shifts to a large, crowded auditorium. All eyes are on a massive digital screen displaying the current assessment rankings. The leaderboard showcases the top students, with Sun Ku and Luo Jingjing leading the pack at level 9. The rankings seem stable, reflecting the expected hierarchy among the students. However, the calm is broken when a student in the audience suddenly points at the board with a shocked expression, yelling for everyone to look as the rankings begin to shift. The crowd buzzes with excitement as Luo Jingjing is the first to switch her profession to firearm master. After being in second place, she leaped to first and reached level 10. Soon after, Sun Ku also has his profession change, becoming a swordsman. The students chatter, knowing that the top 10 are guaranteed a spot in next year's joint class examination. Watching from a podium, a teacher wonders where Cheng Qianma is ranked. The leaderboard shows his name at the very bottom, rank 659. The teacher, Cheng Qianma's homeroom instructor Zhao Erlong, recoils in shock and embarrassment, shouting, "What? Last place?" Other students in the crowd begin to mock Cheng Qianma, saying his previous success was just a fluke and that his first-place rank has been stolen back. A girl scoffs, saying a real genius wouldn't have gone unnoticed for so long. Zhao Erlong watches the board with a worried expression. He thinks that at this rate, with only 4 hours left, Qianma won't even be able to reach level 6, much less defeat the final boss. Suddenly, a student who was pointing at the board shouts, "Look, the last place has moved." Cheng Qianma's name begins to skyrocket up the rankings, from 641, to 423, to 252, then 121. Zhao Erlong stares in utter disbelief, wondering how his student is managing this. The scene flashes back 1 minute in time, returning to the secret realm where Cheng Qianma is just waking up from what he calls a refreshing nap. He's suddenly alerted by a sound and sits up, looking over the edge of the rock he was sleeping on. He looks on in shock at the sea of red below him. His plan worked better than expected. A dreadful scene of around 400 hounds now fills the canyon. Keeping his cool, Cheng Qianma summons another piece of basic novice equipment, a massive Gatling gun. A wild, excited grin spreads across his face as he wonders just how many levels this horde of hounds can give him. With a triumphant yell of "killing, begin," he opens fire, unleashing a torrent of energy from the Gatling gun onto the unsuspecting horde below. He laughs maniacally as the weapon's blast tears through the ranks of the shadow mages and their hounds. The canyon is filled with a massive explosion as hundreds of monsters are wiped out in an instant. System notifications begin to pop up, confirming the kills. As the smoke from the blast dissipates, the canyon floor is shown to be empty. The entire horde was annihilated. Cheng Qianma is showered with notifications for leveling up and gaining stat points. He thinks to himself that this is much more satisfying than killing them one by one. He then notices that his passive skills, Ripple Slash and Weapon Switching, have also leveled up, increasing their proc chance and decreasing cooldowns. He realizes his passive skills level up along with him. Looking over his upgraded skills, he notes the strong growth potential of passive abilities and wonders if a higher level skill will have a 100% chance to be triggered. Back in the auditorium, the leaderboard has updated once more. Cheng Qianma now sits at rank 1, having reached level 13, surpassing all the other top students. The crowd is in an absolute uproar, calling him a monster. They can't believe someone went from last place to first by leveling up to 13 in just 1 minute, a feat that would put him in the top 3 in the entire country. Having completely changed his tune, Zhao Erlong now proudly points to the screen, boasting to everyone around him, "Look, this is my student. Isn't he awesome?" As he's celebrating, he turns and is startled to find the school's director standing right behind him, looking very serious. The director furiously reprimands Zhao Erlong, asking how he could be so blind as to not report such an extraordinary youngster. All a stunned Zhao Erlong can do is apologize. The director sighs, admitting that he is also getting old to have made such an oversight. He declares that Cheng Qianma's talent can be said to be the greatest in Jiangqing College's history. Meanwhile, back in the secret realm, Cheng Qianma is notified that by reaching level 10, he is now able to choose a profession. As he lands firmly on the ground, the system prompts him to make his choice. He looks at the standard list of professions: warrior, mage, swordsman, and more. He recalls his past life, where he stood at the peak of Apocalypse and obtained god-level titles for every class. He decides to walk the one path he hasn't walked yet. The list of available professions scrolls down, revealing more options like gunner, monk, and assassin, until it lands on the final choice, vagrant, a special class that doesn't undergo a profession change. He considers the vagrant class. Its main advantage is the ability to use any equipment without being impacted by class restrictions, allowing for a nearly limitless combination of attributes to suit any battle situation. However, the shortcomings are also very apparent. Because the class is professionless, it only has access to primary skills, meaning its lethality is not enough. While strong in the early stages, it's bound to be dominated in the later stages. But Cheng Qianma knows this doesn't apply to him. With a confident smirk, he realizes that his powerful passive system completely resolves the vagrant class's fatal flaws. He decisively selects vagrant, believing he can bring the class's power to its peak. The system then gives him an unexpected notification. Because he has never assigned his stat points, it is automatically binding him to the vagrant's sole hidden class, Spellbinder. The binding process completes instantly. Cheng Qianma is suddenly enveloped in a powerful blue aura, his body lifted into the air. He looks on in shock, exclaiming, hidden class. Spellbinder? The results of the profession change assessment flashed on the big screen. In first place was Cheng Qianma, level 13, and his chosen profession was vagrant. The crowd was stunned. Was this a mistake? How could someone with such talent choose the most useless profession? One of the teachers erupted in anger, grabbing his colleague. Zhao Erlong. He was a kid with such good potential, what exactly did you teach him? A vagrant class? What kind of a troublemaker is he? Zhao Erlong, the teacher responsible for Cheng Qianma, was in despair. He felt wronged, protesting that Cheng Qianma had always expressed his aspiration to be a berserker. The other teacher pinched the bridge of his nose in frustration. Choosing the vagrant class, a profession widely regarded as trash, was equivalent to giving up on one's future. He could only think of one word for Cheng Qianma: foolish. The students in the audience were just as confused. One wondered if the vagrant class was really that bad and suggested that maybe Cheng Qianma had a plan. But another student quickly shut him down, asking what he could possibly know. However, Cheng Qianma knew exactly what he was doing. The vagrant class's biggest advantage was its ability to use skills and equipment from any profession. In the early stages, this freedom allowed for a multitude of skills to fight against monsters. He wanted them all. The drawback was clear. This advantage was only effective in the early stages. Once other players specialized, the vagrant, with only primary level skills and no room for growth, would be easily dominated by opponents. The students understood this well. They lamented that such an amazing talent was being completely wasted on a profession with no late-stage capabilities. What future was there to speak of? But Cheng Qianma had a secret. To him, the vagrant class was perfect. He had a passive skill exchange system that would make up for the lack of damage. Combined with his experience and skills from his previous world, he was confident he could use the vagrant class to its fullest potential. As he checked his status window, he noticed something new. His profession was listed as vagrant, spellbinder. He had no idea what a spellbinder was. His eyes widened in shock as he focused on the word spellbinder. A new subclass had appeared that he had no knowledge of. The system provided a description. A spellbinder was unable to actively learn skills from academies or other organizations. Instead, they could only learn supporting skills dropped by bosses. However, they gained an additional 2 stat points per level, and all instance dungeons were automatically set to the highest difficulty, rewarding an increase in level upon completion. Cheng Qianma was initially confused. He couldn't actively learn skills. He had to attack an instance dungeon boss just to gain them. This seemed difficult. But then, a smile spread across his face. Perfect, he thought. He knew the circumstances of each and every instance dungeon in Apocalypse by heart. This gave him an advantage that no ordinary person would have. The Spellbinder class was indeed pretty good. He decided his first priority was to increase his passive damage. To do that, he would start by increasing his attack speed, pouring his stat points into it. The scene shifts to an instance dungeon. Cheng Qianma appears in a flash and immediately dispatches 2 hulking monsters, who don't even have time to react. With his newly allocated stats, he moves with blinding speed, his blade a blur as he cuts down another foe. He marveled at the effects. It wasn't just numbers on a screen that went up, his actual physical abilities had truly increased. Attack speed, movement, even critical hit rate. This world was truly fascinating. After defeating the monsters, a special item dropped, the Book of Demons. It was a shabby-looking book, but he suspected it was the key to unlocking a hidden mission. A look of realization dawned on his face. He almost forgot about this special mission. He decided to hold off on dealing with the boss for now and instead gather all the hidden items needed to unlock it. Meanwhile, the clock was ticking. The timer for the examination showed only 60 minutes remaining. As the examination neared its end, the other students began to approach the boss area. Greeting them was this round's final challenge. Before them stood the area's boss, a formidable demon. Behind it, a massive purple crystal known as the Awakening Stone pulsed with energy. A footstep is heard, someone is approaching. Filled with confidence, one of the students decided to make his move. Shouting, "Go," he charged forward, convinced he could take the boss head-on. He was sure that his impressive speed would allow him to bypass the minions and kill the boss directly. But as he lunged forward, he quickly realized he had gravely underestimated the challenge waiting for him. His confidence was misplaced. One of the boss's minions landed a powerful blow, sending him flying. He hit the ground hard, crying out in pain. He struggled to his feet, groaning in agony. A sudden realization hit him, and he looked down in panic. The boss's curse had taken effect. His base stats had been lowered so much that he couldn't even dodge the incoming attacks from the minions. Back in the examination hall, the defeated student was violently ejected from the portal, landing in a heap on the floor, crying out in pain. The crowd murmured in shock. Isn't that guy in the top 50 of his year? How did he fail? Others commented on the difficulty of the dungeon, noting how unlucky the students were to face a magic-using boss that was tough for melee fighters. Just then, Cheng Qianma appeared from behind a rock. He'd spent the last hour collecting all the items for his hidden mission. Luckily, he hadn't missed his opportunity to challenge the final boss, Zalan. Without hesitation, Cheng Qianma leaped from his hiding spot, launching himself towards the remaining minions that were guarding the boss. As he closed the distance, he noted that the rough and thick-skinned beasts were quite fast, moving quickly to intercept him. But unfortunately for them, they weren't as fast as him. He effortlessly dodged their clumsy attacks and prepared a sweep attack, aiming low. His attack connected, not just tripping the monsters, but shattering their fragile leg bones and instantly disabling them. He continued his assault with fluid grace, spinning and dodging through the enemy ranks, a whirlwind of precise strikes. He knew the boss's main skill, sacrifice, required a long casting time. As long as there were no minions left to protect it, Zalan would have no way to dodge his attacks. With the minions defeated, he now stood face to face with the boss, Zalan. It was time to end this. By taking out its bodyguards, Cheng Qianma had successfully turned the fearsome boss into a sitting target. He didn't have much time, he needed to act fast. He quickly equipped a new weapon, a large, futuristic-looking firearm. He took aim and unleashed a barrage of 10 bullets that flew straight towards the boss's head, riddling its skull with impacts. The cartridge was empty. He exhaled, relieved. All 10 bullets had accurately hit their target. It seemed he hadn't lost the human aiming machine skill from his previous world. Zalan stumbled backward, its tough skull protection shattered by the relentless assault. Enraged, the boss entered a frenzied state, its eyes glowing with fury as it prepared to retaliate. But Cheng Qianma was faster. Activating his weapon-switching skill, the gun vanished and was instantly replaced by a long, powerful staff. He smirked. A normal sweep attack would only make his opponent stumble. But his attacks were different. They targeted the most fragile leg bones, ensuring they would break on impact. He reflected on the dungeon's design. Its difficulty lay in the cooperation between the three monsters. When the fierce protection of the two beasts was combined with the boss's magic, it was deadly. But once they could no longer buy time for the sacrifice spell, they were no longer unbeatable. He pointed his staff at the dazed boss. Now that you've lost the skull's protection. The boss, Zalan, could only stare in horror, its head cracked and its fragile brain now completely exposed. It will collapse in one blow. With a final, powerful thrust, Cheng Qianma pierced Zalan's head, ending the fight. After completing the examination, two top students, Luo Jingjing and Sun Ku, appear in the arena. Brimming with confidence, Luo Jingjing declares that first place is surely hers this time. However, their confidence is shattered when Sun Ke checks the rankings. He points in disbelief at the screen, exclaiming that the name at the top isn't hers. To their shock, the number 1 spot is held by Li Hong, a level 7 student, while they are ranked second and third. Luo Jingjing's face twists into a mask of pure fury and humiliation. She can't believe that she, an elite student, has lost to someone she considers to be eternally in last place. Her followers quickly surround her, trying to calm her down by insisting that Li Hong must have cheated. They argue that a mere level 7 couldn't possibly defeat high-level monsters, and reveal that he has already been called to the dean's office. Sun Ke chimes in, remarking how students from the ordinary class will do anything to cheat. With a scoff, Luo Jingjing coldly agrees that if he did cheat, it would be no surprise at all. The scene shifts to the dean's office, where a nervous Li Hong is being interrogated about the cheating allegations. He desperately denies it, stammering that he just did really well on his own. His interrogator is revealed to be the formidable Lu Yanmin, the Jiangqing Education Commissioner. He furiously refutes Li Hong's claim, pointing out the inconsistencies in his story. Commissioner Lu leans in menacingly, threatening to make Li Hong the first student in the college's history to be expelled. He warns that not only the student but also anyone who helped him will face severe consequences. Terrified, Li Hong finally breaks. He confesses that it was Cheng Qianma who insisted on doing him a favor, and he begs the commissioner not to punish him, taking all the blame. A flashback reveals the truth. Cheng Qianma had given Li Hong a map showing a secret route. This path allowed him to bypass all the monsters and go directly to the boss, with the final instruction being to touch the awakening stone as fast as possible. Back in the office, Commissioner Lu discusses the new information with his aide, Zhang Lei. Lu is surprised to hear about a hidden genius in the school, and Zhang Lei confirms that Cheng Qianma has not only broken a record but still hasn't exited the secret realm. Intrigued, Zhang Lei hands the commissioner a tablet, stating that it contains the full, unedited recording of Cheng Qianma's entire examination. As Commissioner Lu watches the footage, his expression turns from suspicion to wide-eyed shock. The shock quickly transforms into booming admiration. He slams the tablet down, declaring that Cheng Qianma is an incredible talent with a limitless future, much to the surprise of his aide. Meanwhile, back in the examination hall, the crowd murmurs in awe, impressed by how quickly the rocket-class prodigies, Luo Jingjing and Sun Ke, have completed the test. But the instructors watching from the stands are focused on something else. They stare at the leaderboard, wondering why Cheng Qianma, now listed as level 13, has still not emerged with only 15 minutes left. Deep inside the secret realm, Cheng Qianma stands before the awakening stone. He knows touching it will end the exam, but a smirk plays on his lips. He decides to wait a bit longer to take care of a hidden mission. He lays out 6 mysterious items required for a ritual: a book, a runic obsidian, a withered wand, a translucent crystal, a broken sword, and a hound's skull. He knows that the combination of these 6 artifacts will summon a powerful entity. As he places the final item, a massive, crimson magical circle erupts from the ground beneath them. The portal glows with immense purple energy. A deep, ancient voice booms out from within, demanding to know who dares to disturb its slumber. Unintimidated, Cheng Qianma looks on with a confident smile. This is exactly what he was hoping for, the appearance of the great boss. A colossal figure emerges from the portal. Clad in menacing red armor, it is the level 12 elite boss and warrior of the demon race, the starved, Taman. Taman's glowing eyes lock onto the intruder. Recognizing Cheng Qianma, it lets out a furious roar of "Die!" and lunges forward to attack. Taman lunges with incredible speed, its fist slamming into the ground and unleashing a massive explosion. The force of the blast rips through the area, sending debris and Cheng Qianma flying backward. The devastating impact leaves a massive, burning crater in its wake, a testament to the immense power Cheng Qianma now faces. As the dust from the massive explosion settles, it reveals a huge crater. Cheng Qianma lands gracefully at a distance, having completely evaded the blast. He sizes up the colossal demon, noting that as a hidden boss, Tamon is significantly stronger than the combination of Zalan's three-person team he faced before. However, Cheng Qianma quickly analyzes the boss's weakness. He realizes Tamon's strength is its only advantage, its abilities are lacking and its movements are clumsy. He confidently believes that as long as he controls the fight, he can win, taunting the boss to train more. Enraged by the taunt, Tamon's eyes glow with fury. It takes a heavy, earth-shaking step forward, ready to crush the insolent human. The boss lets out a furious roar, its voice echoing through the realm as it screams, "Die! Die! Die!" Tamon charges forward with immense force, but Cheng Qianma remains calm and prepares to execute his strategy. Cheng Qianma makes his first move, using a surprisingly basic technique, the grappling class's primary skill, sand throw. The handful of sand flies directly into Tamon's face, successfully blinding the massive demon. As the boss stumbles around blindly, Cheng Qianma smirks. He knows that even a low-level skill like sand throw is incredibly effective for restricting the movements of a huge, clumsy enemy. However, the boss isn't helpless. Its passive ability, Overlord's Control Release, triggers, instantly nullifying the blind effect for 1 second. Acknowledging the boss's strength, Cheng Qianma decides it's his turn to go on the offensive. He pulls out a primary equipment item, a self-detonating robot. He begins his combo with a slide tackle, swiftly closing the distance to the enormous boss. Cheng Qianma knows Tamon is too heavy to be tripped by the slide. So, he seamlessly transitions into his next move, a powerful uppercut aimed at the demon's jaw. The uppercut connects perfectly, sending a shockwave through the boss's head and spraying demonic blood. Just as planned, the blow sends Tamon into a state of dizziness. Cheng Qianma seizes the opportunity, moving behind the stunned beast. With the boss disoriented, he uses his primary dagger to deliver a critical backstab. Immediately following the stab, he uses another basic grappling skill, a powerful front kick. The kick isn't aimed at the boss, but at the self-detonating robot he had prepared, sending it flying towards Tamon's back. With a satisfied grin, Cheng Qianma watches as the robot collides with the boss and erupts in a massive explosion. Tamon groans in pain from the blast, stumbling forward. But Cheng Qianma gives it no time to recover, lunging forward and yelling that it won't be getting back up. He unleashes a relentless flurry of slashes, mercilessly attacking the stunned and wounded boss, ensuring it has no chance to retaliate. Standing over the fallen demon, Cheng Qianma states his core principle: no matter how strong you are, as long as you're being restricted throughout the entire battle, you won't be able to do any harm. With the hidden boss defeated, Cheng Qianma casually places his foot on the glowing orb of loot left behind, bidding the fallen boss a simple, "See ya."